Migos rapper Takeoff shot dead in Houston. I believe in a bowling alley, right? So rapper Takeoff, best known as one third of the hip hop group Migos, was shot and killed Tuesday morning, a rep confirmed. The Grammy nominated hitmaker, whose real name is Kershnik Kari Ball, died in a shooting after a fight broke out over a dice game at a private party at 810 Billiards in Bowling in downtown Houston, TMZ reported. He was 28, which is such a depressing thing, right? Because you have such a young individual losing their life, right? And I don't know anything about the Migos. I don't know anything about Takeoff. I don't know anything about this individual. So I can't really give, a point of view on him or not or whatever, right? But it's sad to see someone ending up losing their life over something so beyond stupid like a dice game. Like, that is so dumb. So, a rep who is not authorized to speak publicly confirmed the rapper's death to the Associated Press. Houston police and fire officials arrived on the scene at around 2:40 a.m. after some people heard gunfire on the balcony. A lot of folks were there, Police Lieutenant Ronnie Wilkins told the Houston Chronicle. They were in front of the bar. The bar was closed at the time, but people were congregating out on the balcony area. Everybody fled. Well, yeah, because people probably don't want to be tied to a shooting of like a very famous rapper. So footage obtained by TMZ showed fellow Migos member Quavo, 31, and others gathered around Takeoff, who was lying on the ground. The clip reportedly showed the group trying to move his body before they put him back down and shouted for help. That's got to be a really scary situation, right? That like someone close to you, you try to like basically wake them up, but you can't because they're dead. Like that's a brutal situation. So the man was pronounced dead at the scene, police said. Two additional victims were transported to nearby hospitals in private vehicles in unknown condition. Police did not release the identities of the victims, but said the person killed was a man in his late 20s. And this is just like really sad, right? Because like why do so many people in the rap community or relating to the rap community end up basically always going out when they're young and very violently? Like, it is such a brutal thing. We won't release any information on him until we're able to get more information on him, either from the medical examiner's office once they positively identify him from the autopsy, or friends and family come forward and give us information on who he is, Sergeant Michael Arrington told the Houston Chronicle. Quavo, who is also Takeoff's uncle, was not injured, Thames reported. Police confirmed that Quavo and Takeoff were in attendance but declined to say whether they were involved in the shooting. The thing is, they probably actually weren't involved in the shooting, but they were probably like right next to it and within their group, right? And it just ended up hitting him, potentially, right? So no arrests have been made. If this does turn out to be a high profile case, we want to make sure justice is found for the people involved, not just the person who was fatally shot, but everyone else who's at the hospital right now, Sergeant Michael Arrington said. And just hours before the shooting, Takeoff was all smiles on Instagram as I'm guessing he, shared a selfie from the bowling alley. Reps for Quavo Migos did not immediately respond to requests for comments. So this is his final Instagram post. That's really sad, right? Because the thing is, it doesn't really seem like, based off like the very small information that I've had and done research on it, out of like the three members of Migos, Takeoff seemed to be the guy to basically kind of like mind his own business and not really get involved in like with a lot of stuff that might have gotten him into trouble from what it seemed like, right? Which is sad because the one from the group that seemed to be more, I guess, well mannered was taken out. Like, it just sucks, right? So Takeoff's lawyer Drew Finling told the New York Times that his death was a devastating loss, particularly for Atlanta. When you're around Takeoff, there's a sense of peacefulness about his aura. Finling told the newspaper he listens to you, he looks at you, he's more focused on what you have to say than what he has to say. The world was starting to learn about Takeoff. It was his time to shine. Takeoff formed the band along with his uncle, Quavo, and cousin Offset 30 in 2008. Months before rebranding as Migos, the trio called themselves Polo Club. They released their first mixtape, Jug Season, in 2011. Rapper Gucci Mane became a mentor for the trio, which led them to their first signing with Atlanta label Quality Control. The first major track was Versace, which dropped in 2013 and instantly became a multi-platinum record. Drake was later featured on the remix of the song, boosting his profile even more. The song paved the way for the trio's 2017 album, Culture, which later received a Grammy nomination in 2018 for the Best Rap Album. Migos also received a Grammy nomination that same year for Best Rap Performance for their hit track Bad and Bougie. The trio reportedly split from Offset, who is married to rapper Cardi B, earlier this year and instead rebranded as Unk and Few. We stand on real deal loyalty and sometimes that S ain't displayed, Quavo told Revolt earlier this year. This ain't got nothing to do with no label, no paperwork, no QC, nothing. This got something to do with the three brothers. And S, it is what it is. Right now, we gonna be the duo till time tell. On Monday, Unconfused released their latest music video for their newly released track, Messy. And Takeoff, who was born in the Atlanta suburb of Lawrenceville, dabbled in solo projects during his time with Migos, releasing his debut solo album, The Last Rocket, in 2018. So there's no comments on this, but if you stumble upon this, if you know more about the Migos or about Takeoff and all that kind of stuff, feel free to give your thoughts on it. Because to me, no matter who the person is, it's always sad to see the ending of a life, especially a young life. Right? Like 28 years old. Like you could easily live up to like 100 nowadays. Like you barely lived. It's just a really sad thing.